Hey guys, welcome to the channel. As you see in the thumbnail, what if Issei became a white and red dragon emperor part 1. Before I start, please do support for more awesome content and subscribe my channel and like this video and also share this video with your friends. I have created my other videos playlist, there you can watch my all videos easily, check out as well. Let's start this video. Prologue. Ever since Issei was born, the only thing his parents wanted for him is to be safe and be ready for his future, especially their family is kin to Odd. His mother Miyuki Hyoudou is the descendant of the heavenly dragon Ddraig and the wizard Merlin. And his father Tetsuya Hyoudou is also the descendant of the heavenly dragon Albion and King Arthur himself. One day after his mother finished training him with magic in the morning and his father on close combat on the afternoon, Issei decided to go to the park on his free time to play with his best friend Hyoudou. She was a cute young girl around Issei's age with chestnut brown hair and violet eyes. Her hair is usually tied into a ponytail, but on some occasions she lets her hair down. She was dressed with a blue frilly dress sitting on the bench and called Issei. Ice-kun. Let's play together. Issei notices his best friend and starts running towards her. Hello Irie-chan, how is your day? Asked by Issei with a smile on his face. It's alright, Irina said with a sad voice, but Issei noticed it and asked. What's wrong, Irie-chan? Walk close towards her and Irina stand up from her sit. It's because we are moving tomorrow to England and it's the last day we're gonna play together, Irina said with a tear on her eyes, but Issei notices Irina is crying and hug her. Ice-kun. Irina blushed with the action of Issei. It's alright Irie-chan, we just gonna promise with each other to meet again in the future, said Issei, while letting go of Irina from their hug and patting her head. Irina blushed again. Come on Irie-chan, let's play until sundown, I mean it's the last day we gonna play together, said Issei with a smile on his face. Irina saw the smile and thought to herself, this is why I love you Ice-kun, and Issei held her hand and played until the sun was gone. The father of Irina, Tauji Hyoudou, came to get her daughter. His father called Irina, let's go home, we still need to finish packing. Have you said goodbyes to your boyfriend? Tauji said with a grin, the two blushed when they heard it. Irina replied, Dad, with a crimson blush on her face, while his dad chuckling on the distance, and Irina looked at Issei still having a massive blush, and said. I guess this is it Ice-kun. Before Issei replied, Irina grabbed his collar and gave him a deep kiss on the lips and let go of his collar. Issei was having a crimson blushed. And was caught off guard of this after all those training he had with his dad. He never thought he would got himself off guard with her best friend, and Irina said. That's for you to always remember me. She looked at him, but this time Issei is the one who give a peck kiss on the lips, Irina, and Issei blushed so bad that smoke came out on their ears. And that's for you to remember me also, Irie-chan, and hug her, and she hugs him back. Issei said, I'm gonna miss you Irie-chan, be careful out there. I will Ice-kun. I will. The two let go from their hugs and Irina start to went to her dad. See you next time Ice-kun. While waving her hand, Issei do the same by waving his hand. Don't you forget I'm Irie-chan. Issei said with a tear on his eyes. I won't forget you Ice-kun, I promise. And don't forget me too. Irina said while starting to cry. I promise Irie-chan. I promise. Issei watched them until they are gone and he start heading back to his house. Issei enter his house with her head down but quickly saw by his parents who are sitting on the dining table. His mother first asked. Did something happen, Issei? Her mother asked with a worried tone and his father asked next. Are you not hurt, son? His father asked, but Issei just sat down on the dining table and replied. Irie-chan is moving tomorrow on England, Issei said with a sad tone. What are you feeling, son? His father said. I'm just sad that I can't see my best friend after I train, but I'm not worried because we promised to each other that we won't forget each other, Issei said on a positive tone. His mother then said in a teasing voice, is our baby gonna cry after his girlfriend moved away? His father chuckled and Issei having a huge blush. Mom. Irie-chan is not my girlfriend. Issei said while pouting. His parents found it cute when he do it. His father turned to tease. I thought you guys are already girlfriend and boyfriend, his father said and chuckled. Issei said while blushing, we are best friend, and said under his breath, for now at least. His parents heard it and started to tease again. Did I hear for now at least, so you do want her as a girlfriend, his father teased and his mother said. Just make sure to give us a lot of grandkids, okay? Said it on a teasing tone and Issei blushed again and said. Enough with the teasing, mom, dad, and let's eat, while pouting. Behind his parents at the same time. Issei pav. After I eat dinner with my parents I took a bath and sit while thinking about Irina. I wonder if Irie-chan have finished packing or they already leave, and I exited the bathroom and start heading for my room. After entering my room, I took out a pair of underwear and wear it and hop on my bed and thought to himself, tomorrow is another training day, I need to get stronger, not for me but for those who I care about, said and shut his eyes. After a few weeks. It's the weekend so no training today. Maybe I should go on a stroll or visit the playground. Irie-chan and I used to play and start walking towards the playground until I feel some unknown power on the playground and start running towards it until I come across with a little girl. She was a cute little girl with long straight black hair down to her hips. Her dark gray eyes looked dull and lifeless. She was dressed in a black Lolita dress with a purple ribbon on her back. The most stunning thing about her was her ears. Unlike normal ears, hers had pointed tips like elves. I think she is the source of the power. I wonder who she is. As I walked closer and tried to talk to her. Hi, are you here by yourself? The girl remains unmoving, looking at the pond. I got in front of her and tried it again. Hello, I'm talking to you. Are you here with your parents or with your friends? The girl looked me in the eyes before slowly opening her mouth. I don't have parents or friends. She answered in a monotonous voice before turning her head away again. She don't have parents or friends. Strange. Well, I mean, it's not that really strange because Irie-chan is my only friend. If I don't have her, I only have my parents. Thought to myself. Aren't you lonely? I asked, getting even closer. No, I was alone from the beginning. I don't know what loneliness is. You were alone from the beginning. Hey, why don't we become friends? I said, smiling brightly. The girl only tilted her head in confusion. Come, let's play. I took the hand of the girl and walked off with her. She looked at me, thinking I was a weird human. I was 7 years old and had short silver hair. My eyes were emerald green with a gentle, innocent look in them. This boy is strange. I feel something in him. Something similar to me. So what do you want to play? I don't know your name yet. I'm Office. The girl, now known as Office, answered short and still monotonous. Office, huh? I'm Issei Hyoudou. Can I call you Fist-chan? All she did in return was give a small nod. Let's play tag. I poked Office in the side and started to run. Come on, try to catch me. He shouted, looking back, only to see her nowhere. Thud. I bumped into someone. Fist-chan. I was surprised to see my new friend in front of me showing me a victory sign, although her expression didn't change. I have caught you. What the? She's really fast. I mean, I can keep up with dad during training. I thought to myself, you are really fast, Fist-chan, but how did you do that? Can you show me again? I had sparkles in his eyes and grasped her hands. I'm curious how she did that. I just walk. What? She just walks at that kind of speed. She must be really strong to be able to do that, I thought to myself while having a sweat drop. You must be really strong, Fist-chan. Can you tell me who you really are? I'm Office the Ouroboros dragon, she answered in a monotonous voice. I started to sweat and I tried to confirm it again. You are the real Office the Ouroboros dragon, infinite dragon god. Yes, I started to sweat really bad. I'm sorry, Office, for calling you Fist-chan. I didn't know you are the real infinite dragon god. I said it while my voice is shaking. I don't mind. A small smile appeared on her lips. Thank you, Fist-chan, I said, and thought to myself, what the hell, I just gave the infinite dragon god a nickname and still alive. I wonder how my parents gonna react when they found out I'm playing with the infinite dragon god. The two of us played for a few hours. But my parents came to get me, but when they found out who I was playing, they ran to me and asked, Office, why are you here? Office, what do you want for our son? Mom, Dad, Fist-chan didn't hurt me, we are just playing. They started to sweat when they hear the nickname I gave to the infinite dragon god. Do you know who she is? My dad asked, and I replied, yes, she is Office the infinite dragon god, or the Ouroboros dragon. I'm glad that you are still alive after giving her a nickname, said my mother. Don't worry, I'm not going to hurt your son, descendant of the heavenly dragon Ddraig and the wizard Merlin and descendant of the heavenly dragon Albion and King Arthur, Office said, and my father asked. Then why are you in the human world? Office. Searching for silence, since Baka Red won't get out of my home. I see, said by my father. Then I told them to Office, Fist-chan, how about living with us? My parents started to sweat and they asked, what are you doing, son? And I replied. Well, she's alone and looking for home, right? Maybe she likes our home. I know it's not the smartest to bring Fist-chan the dragon god to our home, but she's my friend now. My parents look at each other and my dad said. Fine, but what about Office's decision? What do you think, Fist-chan? Do you want to live with me? The dragon god didn't know how to answer. Office never expected that there was a person who would want her to be around. You don't want to? I looked at her with puppy eyes. Office didn't understand emotions, but she didn't like seeing Issei like that. I don't mind. I smiled and immediately took her hand, walking hand in hand while my parents were behind us. Third person Pav. They arrive at their home. Issei and Office are in his room. Issei, dinner will be ready in half an hour. Tell Office to take a bath before you. His mother told him this from the kitchen. Fist-chan, Mom said you should take a bath first. Issei walked up to the girl, who sat on his bed in a seiza position. All the girl did was tilting her head. What's wrong? I will show you where the bathroom is. The boy grabbed the girl by her arm and guided her through the house. So, here we are. Mom will bring you a towel later so you can go in. He turned around to leave, but was unable to move. He looked back to see the black-haired girl holding his shirt with her left hand. Fis-chan. Issei was worried about her odd behavior. Issei, what is a bath? The two of them stood there silently staring at each other. A bath is something you do to clean yourself. The girl looked at him and tilted her head. I don't know how you can teach me, Issei. The boy, with a bright red face, ran to his mother with office close behind him. You mom? The boy was embarrassed and had a crimson red face. What's wrong, Issei? I thought office was already in the bath. About that, Fis-chan said she doesn't know what to do. His face got even redder, if that was even possible, and his mother looked a little shocked and unsure what to do. Sigh, I guess it can't be helped. Issei just goes in with her, but doesn't make a mess there. She turned around to give him a few towels and walked away to resume cooking. Issei shouted, quickly turning around to see his mother walking away. Mom is serious about that. Issei, will you take a bath with me? Office asked him without changing her expression. There is no way that you would do something that embarrassing, right? Issei asked her, getting a bad feeling. Embarrassing? I don't quite understand. Let's take a bath together. Office said, dragging Issei with her. She this strong? As expected of a dragon god, she's dragging me behind her with a single hand. Issei shouted in his mind, unable to break free. While in the bath, Issei saw Office butt naked and have a crimson red face, and Issei thought to himself she's really have a pussy, because on what Issei heard she's supposed to be genderless and start removing his clothes too. The Office caught Issei staring at her body and she asked, do you want to touch it? Issei looked at Office and blushing like crazy. What are you saying, Fis-chan? We can't do that. Said by Issei, but Office grabbed his hand and put it on her chest and she moaned a bit, which Issei heard it and start getting excited too. Fis-chan, we can't do this, I'm still a child, said Issei while still blushing, and Office slowly lower his hand to her pussy and Office moan. And Issei noticed it's wet. Fis-chan, she started to rub his finger to her pussy, she started to moan louder, she's starting to feel pleasure for the first time, but she started to rub a bit harder. And faster until she came for the first time in her entire life, while Issei noticed the wetness of Office pussy and asked Fis-chan, it's really wet, did you cubic? Before Issei finished his sentence, Office karate chop his head and lose consciousness. 40 minutes passed and Issei and Office came out of the bathroom. Office looked refreshed and even had a slight smile on her face. Issei on the other hand looked like he barely made it out alive. They both walked into the living room in pajamas, sitting down on a table. What's wrong, Issei? You look awfully exhausted. His father asked him. It's nothing. The silver-haired boy said, looking at his plate. Is that so? Tetsuya sweat-dropped at the half-hearted answer of his son. Office, do you like our home here with us? The girl nodded, while stuffing her face with food. The rest of the dinner was spent in silence, with Issei's parents smiling at the two, Issei slowly getting his energy back, and Office eating enough for 4 people. The two of them were now in Issei's room, Issei in his own bed, and Office in a futon placed beside the bed. Let's play again tomorrow, Fis-chan. The boy stared at the ceiling. The girl nodded with a smile on her face. It was a shame that Issei couldn't see it. Next day. Issei woke up from the chirping of the birds, rolling to his left side. The boy hugged his dakimakura tightly and decided to sleep a bit longer, and remember, the boy didn't have a dakimakura. The boy slowly opened his eyes to see Office in front of him, looking at him. Issei quickly jumped out of the bed, or at least tried to. But the girl grabbed his wrist and once again pulled him in a tight embrace. I like being like this. Office said it with her eyes closed, rubbing her cheek against Issei's hair. I imagining things, or is Fis-chan getting more and more clingy? Well, it's a good thing if she's happy, but her expression is the same as ever. Issei thought to himself and closed his eyes. Another 20 minutes passed with the two of them hugging each other. Issei, Office breakfast is ready. Miyuki called the two children from below, slowly walking up the stairs. She opened the door and spotted the couple on the bed of her son. Oh my, looks like you two really like each other. To become this close to each other in only one day. She walked up to them and lightly shook Issei's shoulder. Wash your face and come down. You too, Office. The mother left and made her way down. Let's go to Fis-chan. Issei wanted to stand up but was pulled down again by Office. Fis-chan, if we don't go up, we won't get anything to eat. The girl shot up after hearing the word eat and ran to the bathroom. Issei, we need to wash our faces. She took the doorknob in one hand and the hand of the boy in the other. Her eyes have sparkles in them. Just how much does she like food? Issei sweat drop. Good morning, Issei, Office. Did you sleep well? Tetsuya asked the two once they entered the living room. Yeah, I slept like a stone. The boy answered, but the blackhead tilted her head. I don't need to sleep. All three Hyoudous looked at her about the statement and the mother of the Issei crouched down to look the girl in the eyes. Even if you are a dragon god office, you should sleep properly. Miyuki tried to lecture her, but it didn't go well. I don't need to rest. The woman was troubled about the stubbornness of the dragon god, but didn't want to give up. No. I know you are a dragon god, but you mustn't be awake all the time. If you don't rest then you're not allowed to hug Issei in his sleep. Miyuki said this, resulting in a bright red face from her son, a frown from the blackhead, and her husband raising his eyebrow. Should I ask about the last part? Well, I don't see any harm by her cuddling with Issei. The office was deep in thoughts, thinking about the reason why she didn't like the idea of being banned from hugging him. That would be a problem. I shall sleep. Good. Issei's mother patted the girl on the head. Now, let's eat. Issei's father sweat dropped when he noticed Issei's mother patted the dragon god. Itadakimasu. All of them began eating at the same time. Park. Do you ever get tired at all, Fist-chan? You are acting like nothing happened when we ran around the city with gravity magic. Issei asked her, trying to catch his breath. I have infinite power. This is nothing. The girl stated like it was nothing. Issei wanted to retort, but someone interrupted him. And we would like to have this infinite power. A handsome man dressed in black armor with a cape walked up to them. He had long brown hair that goes to his hips with many bangs covering his right eye. Devil was the only word office gave him as an answer. Yes, that's right. But I'm no ordinary devil. I am the descendant of the great Mao Beelzebub, my name is Shalba Beelzebub. The man exclaimed it while spreading his arms to his sides. Issei walked in front of office and shouted. Why would the old Satan faction come to the human world? And what do you want from Fist-chan? Shalba looked down like he only now registered his existence. Don't talk to me, you filthy human. Shalba waved his left hand, but Issei noticed the beam of darkness and easily dodged it thanks to the training that his parents gave to him. Looks like the training with dad is paying off and throw a magic sphere towards Shalba, but Shalba blocked it with his barrier and said, a filthy human trying to fight. Then you'll get what you want. A Shalba formed again by a beam of darkness, but this time it's the size of a house. Now die, you filthy human. He threw the beam of darkness towards Issei with such speed but was blocked by his own barrier, but the barrier broke. You're really strong for a filthy human, aren't you? Formed again a beam of darkness, but this time Issei rushed towards Shalba and gave him a punch coated with his aura o his solar plexus. Shalba coughed some blood, but when I guess you aren't that strong, Devil Sense said with a coldly. Issei formed a magic circle on his hand and about to finish the devil, but when Issei about to finish the devil, but someone blocked his attack. The man looks like a middle-aged man in his 40s with dark silver hair and said, no, you can't kill him yet, little human. I still have plans for him. Issei jumped back and asked, who are you, devil? And Issei thought to himself the bottomless and creepy aura around his body. And he's really strong. Before Issei asked for more, he noticed the man was gone from his original position, but to only notice the man is already in front of him and gave him a barrage of punches coated with devil magic. Issei tried to block the man with barrier, but failed due to his body is badly damaged and on his knees, and the man spoke to answer your question earlier, human. Well, I am just the son of the original Lucifer and Lilith Rizavam live in Lucifer and one of the three known super devils. Said by Rizavam with a smirk. The boy coughed blood up and collapsed onto the ground. Issei. Office tried to run up to her friend, but was stopped by the devil who stepped in front of the boy. Now that the little human can't fight anymore, let's go because this old me is tired. Rizavam grabbed the wrist of the girl and a strange glowing circle appeared under them. Issei. The blackhead broke free and made her way to the boy. Issei. She shook him. How annoying, I guess I should just pulverize this little human cunt. Office turned her head around and glared at him. The devil took a few steps back, even though he wouldn't want to fight against someone like the infinite dragon god. Fist-chan, he is here for you to get away from here. Little human cunt, why are you so worried about that thing? Rizavam asked the boy. Did you just call Fist-chan a thing? He glared at Rizavam, but can't move due to the damage. Of course, because that's what it is, human cunt. The Ouroboros dragon god, it's ageless, but if you look at it from another point of view, then it's nothing more than a giant mass of energy. So, how is it not a thing? Office got nervous, even gods feared her. So it wouldn't be strange for Issei to be afraid of her. But even she didn't expect that kind of response. I know Fist-chan is the Ouroboros dragon, but I know for sure Fist-chan is Fist-chan. Issei's heart was beating faster and faster. How can my heart beat this fast when I don't even have the strength to breathe properly? In a moment like this, I see Fist-chan as a normal girl and not some dragon god, so it's the boy's job to protect the girl. His body shines in a bright green light and blue light, and his left arm is covered with a red gauntlet with a green jewel and 2 golden spikes that manifests on the user's arm, and a pair of white wings with blue feathers that look like they were made of energy. The red and blue light attract the attention of the 2 descendants of the original Mayu, as well as Office. What is this? The red and blue light. It can't be a sacred gear. Issei. Energy rushed through his body, clearing his vision, and he tried to stand up. Boost. Ddraig's voice announced. That's boosted gear and divine dividing shit. How can a filthy human have 2 long-eyes at a time like this? Rizavam, we need to kill him. Shalba ordered Rizavam. Don't order me around, Shalba. Rizavam glared at Shalba, causing him to back down. We don't have enough time, someone is trying to break the barrier, Rizavam said. It must be Mom and Dad, Issei said, causing him to sigh in relief. The magic circle appeared on the 2 devils, causing them to vanish. Issei then fell to his knees, causing power to left his body. Reset. Ddraig announced. And Issei put away his boosted gear and divine dividing. His parents managed to go to him and asked, "Are you okay, son? Who attacked you?" Issei replied, "I'm alright, but we will talk about when we got home, it's not the best to talk about it here." The Office came to Issei and hugged him tightly, and she lifted him up and walked away with Issei's parents, carrying him like a princess. At home, the 2 were sitting on Issei's bed. The boy rested his head on the lap of the girl, getting patted. "Fist-chan, do you mind explaining what happened there?" Issei asked her with closed eyes. "He was a devil. You may know them from the Bible, and the thing on your arm is a sacred gear, a power given to humans by heaven." She explained it short and without details. "I already know that, Fist-chan. What I mean is the reason why they tried to approach you. They want me to be their leader," Office said, causing Issei to be curious. "Leader, huh? Maybe those devils from Old Satan faction is planning something not good," Issei though while getting patted by Office. "And I managed to awaken my ancestors' sacred gear," Issei said, and summoned his boosted gear and divine dividing and looked at Office. "Fist-chan. Why can't I hear them? They are supposed to be able to talk, right?" Issei asked, and Office answer, "Maybe they are sleeping, dragons are creature that likes to sleep." Issei puts away both of his sacred gear. "Fist-chan, is it possible that a human can get 2 sacred gear, and not just any sacred gear, but 2 of the long-eyes class that can kill gods and mass?" "I don't know, maybe because you are the descendants of Albion," and Ddraig. Issei looked at her eyes and said, "I'm not sure too, but I'll ask my parents tomorrow." Issei asked Office, "Fist-chan, can you train me? I can't stay the way I am right now. I want to protect those I care about, and one of those is you, Fist-chan." The girl was unsure what to do. It's not like she ever trained someone, so she doesn't know what to do. "I can't train you," Issei looked dejected after hearing that. "But I can bring you to people that can." "Thanks, Office-chan." He shot up from her lap and hugged her. "It's okay. Now, let's sleep. You need to rest. Training will start tomorrow, maybe." "Okay, good night." He closed his eyes and snuggled into the bed, again being the Dakimakura of the dragon god. Wait, did she say maybe? Next day. Issei woke up early as usual and freed himself from Office death grip. He finished his breakfast fast and took the portion of the girl into his room. He needed to go up and down 5 times. "Fist-chan, wake up. Your food will get cold." She was almost like Snow White for someone who doesn't need sleep, but instead of waking up by a kiss, she jumped up from the smell of food and grabbed the first plate. "So, you said you would introduce me to someone who would train me. Is that someone also a dragon?" The dragon answered, still stuffing food in her mouth. "No, you will train with gods and devils." Issei was shocked at the mention of gods and devils, but Office patted his head. "They won't harm you, I promise. I shall protect you." The boy blushed at the rare smile from her and mumbled, "Tea, thank you." Hakamagahara. The tall, black-haired woman sat on a veranda drinking tea. "Sigh, it's pretty lonely here when nobody visits me." The woman was dressed in a white and red kimono with a golden obi. She had a silver tiara on her head with a deep blue emerald in it. She was the head goddess of the Shinto religion, Amaterasu, but because of that nobody dared to approach her. It got even worse when she once shot herself in, which resulted in the sun hiding itself. The goddess sighed once again before dropping her tea. "What is this pressure?" The woman had problems breathing and saw a girl a few feet from her. "Who is that? I can't see her clearly." From behind the girl walked a boy up to her and helped her to sit right again. "Wani-chan, are you okay?" The boy asked her in a worried tone, looking at her with sad eyes. "Who is this boy? Why is he unaffected by this enormous power?" The girl walked up to the woman and the pressure vanished at once. "Shinto-san. Who are you?" Amaterasu asked, trying to catch her breath. Office. The Ouroboros dragon once again had her habit to avoid speaking too much. "The Ouroboros DD dragon, why are you here?" Amaterasu tried to back away, taking Issei with her subconsciously. First, Office said it pointing at the breasts of the Shinto god. Don't suffocate Issei. Said goddess looked down to see her pressing the head of the boy into her chest. Sorry. She let go of Issei, who had a bright red face. How innocent cute Office's eyebrow twitched in annoyance. Second, I want you to train him. The goddess turned her head from Office to the boy and concentrated. Now that I look more clearly, his body is not purely human, but why? If he had a sacred gear it would explain his soul, but not his body. She once again faced the dragon god. Who is this boy? Amaterasu asked her, patting the head of the boy. Sekiryuite and Hakuryuiku. The goddess gasped at it and Issei tilted his head. Wani-chan, is there something wrong? Issei gripped the sleeve of the kimono and looked at her with puppy eyes. So cute. Amaterasu blushed slightly and pulled him into a hug. Don't worry, Ouroboros. I will take good care of him. Office pulled Issei out of her bear hug and hugged him herself. Good, I shall bring him to you another day. The Shinto sun pouted at the possessiveness of the dragon, but let it go, she was still afraid of her strength. Bye, Wani-chan. Issei waved at her with a smile. Bye-bye. She happily waved back. Issei would later regret calling one of the Shinto trinity Wani-chan. Underworld. Another black-haired woman sat in her room watching a mahou shoujo anime. She is dressed in magical girl's clothing in pink and black, with a magic wand in her hand and a hat on top of her head. Her twin tails swayed up and down because of her being so excited. Leviathan, a monotonous voice called out to her, startling the woman. Whoa, where did you come from? The girl tilted her head. Takamagahara. No, that's not what I meant. Wait, Takamagahara. I have a favor to ask of you. Office ignored what the woman said and resumed. Help train, Issei. She said and put the boy in front of her. Mahou shoujo, Issei said in a curious tone, resulting in sparkles in Seraphol's eyes. That's right. I, Seraphol Leviathan, am the mahou shoujo of the underworld, Miracle Leviathan. Leviathan stuck her tongue out and winked at him. So, about my favor. The dragon didn't like the fact that she was ignored. Sorry. You want me to train this boy? Why? Office looked down to Issei and pulled him a bit closer. Beelzebub could come again. Akuja-chan. Seraphol was surprised to hear the title of her friend, but the girl shook her head. No, not him. What do you? The devil took a moment before she realized what she meant. Okay, I will help, but I can only do basic training and teach him ice magic. That's good enough. Everything is okay then. Seraphol once again winked at Issei, causing him to blush. Can I leave Issei in your care for a while? Office asked Amau. I don't mind, but what are you going to do? I will ask a few Greek gods for help. I understand. They can be really annoying. The devil made a wry laugh and took out a DVD. Issei-kun, was it? Let's watch this together until she gets back. It was a DVD from the anime Magical Girl Milky Spiral 7. Issei nodded, waving at the dragon. Bye, Fist-chan. The girl gave him a small smile. I will be back right away, Issei. The girl vanished in a cloud of black energy. Fist-chan. Wait, Office. Like the Ouroboros dragon god. Issei was startled by the sudden outburst. Yeah, I thought you already knew who she was. Seraphol shuddered by the thought of enraging her. I need to be careful around her. Oh, Issei-kun has sparkles in his eyes. How cute is this? Maybe a chance for me to make him a mahou shoujo fan. I will have a friend with the same hobby. She got pumped up and walked behind Issei, lifting him up and putting him down on her lap again. Leviathan-san. The boy was puzzled about the action. Don't worry, it's more comfortable this way, right? She said, resting her chin on his head, and just called me Sera-chan or Leviathan. Issei was unsure about calling an adult Tan, but let it go. Then, Sera-san. Sera pouted like a small child. Then Sera-chan. Seraphol smiled cutely, and Issei saw her smile and blushed. Good. Seraphol patted his head. You should smile more, Sera-chan. You really look cute when you smile, Issei said, causing Seraphol to blush. Issei-kun can be quite a charmer, aren't you? Seraphol chuckled. They watched anime for 3 hours straight before Office came and took Issei back home. Issei was about to wake up, but he noticed someone was hugging him from behind. It was Office. He slowly got out of Office's hug and prepared himself because today is a special day for him. The Hyoudou residents are currently eating breakfast when a maid said, "Excuse me, Miyuki-sama, your sister and her daughter just arrived and waiting for you. Tell them to come in." "I think we still have an hour to get the party started," said Miyuki while eating. "Yes," said the maid of the house and left the room. 10 minutes later. 2 figures entered the room while holding the hand of a girl. The said figure had just looked like Miyuki, but she had purple hair with a ponytail, and the other girl had blonde hair the same age as Issei. "Hello, Ni-chan, it's been a while," said the purple-haired woman cheerfully. "Yes, it is Rose-chan, is that Kurumi-chan?" She's all grown up now and has become more beautiful, asked Hitomi while curiously looking at the girl beside her. Yes she is, how's Ice doing? Asked Rose. As always making everyone in the house happy. Replied Miyuki as she recalled the cuteness he displayed was more than enough to attract anyone. Issei went towards them. Hello Auntie Rose, hello Kurumi-chan said cheerfully as she went to give them both a hug. Hello Ice-kun how are you? Said by Rose and followed by Kurumi hello Issei-kun, happy birthday, and gave Issei a hug. I'm alright Auntie, and thank you Kurumi-chan as he returned the hug from Kurumi. Both sisters started to talk about different stuff and Kurumi and Issei sat on the couch but Kurumi soon took their attention as she yawned cutely and suddenly cuddled Issei and closed her eyes. Both ladies just saw the scene with a surprised face and couldn't help and giggled. My little Kurumi already has a crush, said Miyuki as she saw her niece cuddling with her son. Well actually they look adorable together. Her son has already started to attract girls. They look good together, said Rose as she saw her daughter now happily cuddling her nephew. Yeah they are, said Miyuki softly. Hitomi looked at them for a while and turned around to look at Rose. As soon as she saw Rose's face, she smirked. My already starting to matchmaking Harazechann teased Hitomi before giggling. Rose pouted and said with a fake angry expression why not Ni-chan? They aren't blood related. Rose reminded her Ni-chan why she didn't have any problem if her daughter and nephew get together in future. Hitomi thought for a while and said well, only if both have feeling for each other. The dimensional gap. Meanwhile in dimensional gap a certain large red dragon looking at Issei and to be impressed that he managed to tame Office and notice something to the boy. This boy has the potential to be the third dragon god. But for that to happen the heavenly dragon needs to turn him into a dragon, mumbled Great Red. Soon, when Ddraig-chan and Albion-chan are awake then I could visit you freely by entering your mindscape and training you. Thought Great Red. In human world. Issei is 5 years old now. What surprised his parents was unlike other children Issei growth was unbelievably reaching another height. The Hyoudou couple was now discussing the future of their son. So it's final, we'll homeschool our Issei, said Tetsuya Hyoudou to his wife. That's right. We'll homeschool him said Miyuki with a determined face. While looking towards the children and speaking again we'll easily get the best tutors for our son. That wasn't any issue, Miyuki-chan replied Tetsuya while looking at her with a smile, getting a curious face from his wife. To which he just chuckled and spoke again to satisfy his wife's curiosity. Our Issei is growing it felt like yesterday when we held him for the first time, paused Tetsuya as he looked at his son who was now playing with Kurumi then continue. And now today it's been 5 years but before Hitomi could reply, a third voice called the children, catching their attention too. Issei Kurumi and Office became good friends over the years. Currently both of them are playing in their garden. But Office is not currently present, she said she has some important things to do in the underworld. Hey Issei, Kurumi over here said a beautiful purple-haired woman. Both kids looked towards the source of the voice. Issei found his Oba-chan standing and waving her hands. Both children ran to her as fast as their legs could and tackled her in a three-way hug. The woman just giggled and returned the hug. Over the past 5 years she became closer to both the children. Oba-chan you are here, said an overexcited Issei. My, aren't you overexcited today my cute little Issei close your eyes said Rose. Ice nodded and closed his eyes. When he opened his eyes he was given a red and well-colored dragon toy. He took it and gave a peek on her Oba-chan cheek while thanking her for the gift and ran towards his parents. Tao-san look what Oba-chan gave me, said Issei while showing his birthday present. It always brought a smile to his parents' face when they saw Issei always enjoy every little thing in his life. Dream world mindscape. Issei was peacefully sleeping in his bed. Suddenly his dream world changed. It is completely blank, completely dark, and then a bright light surrounds the entire place. When the light goes down, a large western red and white dragon appears from nowhere. The dragons looked at the boy and couldn't help but wonder how this little boy awakened him at such a young age. To end his curiosity he just asked the boy. Who are you boy? To awaken me in such a young age said Ddraig very curiously. I feel my and your aura to the boy said Albion. Why are you here Albion Ddraig looked at Albion. What do you mean why the same reason why you are here right now said Albion. My name is Issei Hyoudou and where am I now? Said Issei. To Ddraig and Albion surprise he didn't seem scared while asking questions. Ddraig just laughed and said relax kid, I'm not going to eat you. Anyway my name is Ddraig, the Red Dragon Emperor and the other one is Albion, the White Dragon Emperor. We are in your mindscape now answer me boy who are you really? But before Issei could say anything there was another bright flash, brighter than the previous two which soon involved the entire place and then they heard a voice before the light went down. I think I can answer that for him Ddraig-chan, said the voice. The three of them looked towards the source of the voice. Ddraig and Albion were feeling a familiar voice and energy signature, but they couldn't place whom it belonged to. When they looked at the source of the voice after the light went down, what they saw shocked them. There is a large red dragon larger than the Ddraig and Albion. Issei was looking at the dragon with an odd face. I am impossible. What are you doing here? And what do you mean you can answer that for him? Asked Albion with a surprised look, and Ddraig got unconscious. He never thought he would meet Great Red here, of all places. What I'm doing here, well, I'm answering your question for him, of course. After all, he has a potential to be the third dragon god. What? What did you say? What do you mean by potential to be the third dragon god? Issei nearly yelled. Couldn't believe what the dragon was saying. It is, what I mean is you are the descendant of the two heavenly dragons and have the potential to be the third dragon god, replied Great Red, and another light covered the entire body of Great Red, and when the light went down, Great Red could be seen in his human form. Dragon god? Like Fist-chan? All I know that I'm the descendant of the two heavenly dragons, Issei asked slowly. What, you are the descendant of mine? And Albion. Ddraig woke up after hearing what Issei said. Then you let me finish, Ddraig-chan, said by Great Red. Ah yes please. Ddraig sweat and sat beside Albion. Hey, don't sit besides me, said Albion, but Ddraig didn't listen. Anyways, where I am, ah yes, a dragon god, you have the potential to be the third like office, and me, said by Great Red, shocking the heavenly dragons, and Issei. But how can I be a dragon god if I'm not even a dragon? That's quite simple, Ddraig-chan, and Albion-chan can turn you one. After all, you are the host of the two heavenly dragons, Great Red said, shocking the heavenly dragons. Wait, you guys didn't know? You guys supposed to know first about that, Issei said to the heavenly dragons. Well, I guess the reason for that is I'm always sleeping and not aware on what's happening outside, said Albion. Well, I have the same reason with this guy, I mean I have nothing to do, said with a carefree tone. Great Red, are these really the heavenly dragons and not the sleepy dragons, said Issei asking Great Red. Hey, that's rude. What if you are in my place, what are you going to do? Said Ddraig. Yeah, we don't really have anything to do besides sleeping, you could say it's part of our jobs now. Albion yelled. Great Red chuckled. Yes, Issei, they are the heavenly dragons, the reasons they are sleeping is they are waiting for you to awake them. I see, said Issei, but I already awakened their sacred gear they passed last week, Issei thought. Anyway, Issei, Ddraig and Albion will teach about the theoretical knowledge about our world. Oh okay. Are you strong, Great Red? Asked Issei nervously. The three dragons started laughing when they heard Issei's question, getting an angry pout from Issei. You guys are big meanie, said Issei, still having his pout. Of course I'm the strongest being in existence. So cool. Can you teach me? I'll become strong too. ULLC stated Issei. Indeed you'll be, but first you have to start training physically when you reach a suitable age. For now we'll teach you how to control your power and magical stuff. Isn't it right, Ddraig, Albion? Of course I'd look forward to. So you were going to stay here? Asked nervously. Of course not, Albion, CHANN, I'll be at my dimensional gap. When Issei comes here. He is the only one who call me that and get away with it. Albion thought it suffix of his name, Great Red is using for him. Well, Issei, you are going to awaken soon, come back here every night so we can train little bit. I'm going to wake up. Oh, but I want to spend more time here, said Issei. That is correct, Issei, and don't tell anyone about this development, okay? And if you need something you can always ask me, okay? ANYTHING, playfully asked Issei. Anything? Replied Great Red with thinking even for once. Soon Ice faded away from his dream world, leaving Great Red, Ddraig and Albion alone to talk. Aren't you spoiling him, Great Red Sama? Yeah, is there a reason why you spoil him? Is it? Asked Great Red. Ddraig and Albion simply nodded. Why can't I? He will surpass me soon. Ddraig and Albion know he can't win an argument with Great Red, he just dropped the topic. Time skip 1 year. Issei just awoke from his sleep, or you can say from his training. Ddraig and Albion already turned him into a dragon. He continually trains in his dream world with Great Red, Ddraig-chan and Albion-chan. Much to Ddraig and Albion irritation, he even started to call them that. But they can't stop him or scold him. I mean, why not? Issei is their descendant and has the potential to become the third dragon god. Issei couldn't help but remember the day Irina left the town a week ago. Would she have to? Flashback begin. Hello Irie-chan, how is your day? Asked by Issei with a smile on his face. It's alright, Irina said with a sad voice, but Issei noticed it and asked. What's wrong, Irie-chan? Walk close towards her and Irina stand up from her sit. It's because we are moving tomorrow to England and it's the last day we're gonna play together, Irina said with a tear on her eyes, but Issei noticed Irina is crying and hug her. Ice-kun, Irina blushed with the action of Issei. "It's alright Irie-chan, we just gonna promise with each other to meet again in the future," said Issei, while letting go of Irina from their hug and patting her head. Irina blushed again. Flashback ends. Remembering that memory brought a smile on his face. Later that evening. Issei and Office went to play. He used to come here with his friend Irina, but she moved away to another country a week ago. Office notices the changes on Issei's body. She was starting to feel a more warm sensation inside her body due to Issei's presence. Suddenly she realized what she was feeling. What next she did shocked Issei. She hugged him and bit him between his shoulder and neck and marked him as her, and soon an infinity mark appeared on the place where she bited. As she bit, she unintentionally released a small amount of power towards Issei, which caused him to feel the same warm sensation that Office was feeling, since she was a dragon god too. The next thing that Issei did stunned Office. He moved and bit Office between her shoulder and neck, and a crimson dragonic tattoo appeared on Office's skin. Issei took Office's hand and walked to their house. The only people who are in Issei's house are his parents, the servants, and him, and Office. Kurumi got busy in schooling and can only come on weekends. Later that night. Issei was lying in his bed. His eyes were closed. Then he felt something in his bed. When he opened his eyes he saw Office snuggle into him. Issei blushed deeper than crimson when he felt his body. What are you doing here, Fist-chan? Sleeping. I mean in my bed. You even have your own room. I feel comfortable here. Well, I don't mind. Issei just closed his eyes and after some time he found himself in Mindscape. I can't believe this. You're not the only one. We are traveling in same boat, Ddraig-chan. But get married to Infinity Dragon God. I can't believe this. You already said that, Ddraig. What are you both talking about? Red-san. Ddraig-chan. Albion-chan. Well, we are talking about your wife Ice-chan. My wife. Fist-chan. She is not just a normal dragon, well, she is Ouroboros dragon or the infinite dragon god. Office, second strongest being in the existence. He is right. As soon as they heard the voice they looked towards the source and found that Office was floating over there. Fist-chan. Are you trying to harm our grandson, Office? Albion asked in a calm tone. Yeah, what do you want for our grandchild? Ddraig asked. I do not have any intention to harm my mate, grandfathers-in-law. Well, with that, Office caught Ddraig and Albion off guard. Not just Ddraig and Albion, but Great Red was also surprised to hear Office calling Ddraig and Albion grandfathers-in-law, and for Issei, he was trying to recover that Office is the second strongest being, and now she is her wife. Well, no one expects to have a mate at the age of 5. But for Issei, what we can say, there isn't anything normal about him except living a normal life till now, but I think that is going to change soon. This didn't change when Office joined Hyoudou household. Fist-chan, are you sure? I mean, you want me as your husband? Asked Issei nervously. Let's just say, being a dragon really boosts your mentality, and who's kidding, he already started his magical training a year ago. Yes, I am, my mate, my ice. Well, if past conversation didn't surprise Great Red, Ddraig, and Albion, this will. They are shocked that Office is now possessive over something other than silence. That is what? Ddraig and Albion's grandson. Issei just blushed at Office's affection. So you know about me? Issei asked nervously. Being the grandson of the two heavenly dragons, then yes. Yeah. Well, I just came to know that, when you are sleeping I sense 3 familiar powers for Ddraig and Albion. I can understand that you are the Red Dragon Emperor and the White Dragon Emperor too, but when I sense Baka R, I mean Great Red, I just have to come to your mind to check it. So you weren't angry or mad at me? Wait, how can you enter to my mindscape? Well, even Great Red, Albion, and Ddraig want the answer to this question. No, I am not mad at you, and the second question is simple, it's because I'm your wife and the mate mark. So can I even enter your mindscape? Yes, you can, my ice. Let me warn you, Office, if you hurt Issei you'll pay. I've already taken a liking to the hatching, said Great Red in a threatening voice. I promise you, Baka R, Great Red, I'll never harm my mate, my ice. Suddenly Issei awakened from his dream world and found that his Fist-chan was resting her head on his chest. Issei wrapped his arms around her and went back to his sleep. The next day. Morning sunlight came to Hyoudou household. But it was a different morning. Office and Issei were sleeping peacefully, cuddling each other like teddy bears. When Miyuki came to Issei's room she saw the state of his son and she just giggled. Actually, they look super cute together. Suddenly an evil idea got in her mind. She went back to her room, get a camera, and pick a photo in which both of the cuddle each like teddy bear. Oh my, she got an exclusive item to tease his son unknown to her. Tetsuya just come to Issei's room to find out what taking so much time to wake Issei. When he saw this he just smirked and said another girl added to his harem. Unfortunately for him, Miyuki heard that and that brought a smack on his head. But that noise Issei began to awake. His mother saw that and said, good morning sleepyhead, looks like you and your girlfriend had fun last night. Issei blushed deeper and red like a tomato and said it's not what it looks like, she isn't feel comfortable, so she slept here. Oh yes, she is fully comfortable in your bed while cuddling you, I wonder why. And what's with that, you aren't denying that she is your girlfriend, said Tetsuya as he smirked widely. He can't miss the chance to tease his son, can he? The office has also started to awake. The first thing she saw was Issei was looking at her, and when she saw Issei she just said, "Good morning, my mate." What? Mate? Mr. and Mrs. Hyoudou exclaimed in unison. Now here starts the first unique different morning moments. I wonder why too. Now I know this is not going to be a long morning, but a long day too, so he decided to just tell his parents that she is just his girlfriend and she likes to refer to the boyfriend term as mate, but it didn't help. How the heck if 5 years plus have a girlfriend? Well, that's what he thought, but his mother's next word surprised him. Well, just don't make us grandparents already, Tetsuya said as he teased his son. Issei blushed like there is no tomorrow, while Office just tilted her head. To just leave the awkward situations, he got off the bed and ran towards the bathroom. At the breakfast table, Issei is currently sitting next to his Office-chan while having his breakfast. "The Office-chan, how about getting homeschooling with Issei? Sounds good," asked Issei's mother, looking at Office. The Office just tilted her head. Well, when she thought about that, he thought she got more chances to stay close to her Issei and spend more time with him now without thinking anymore. She said, "Yes, mother." "Yes, mother." "Well, if you mind me calling you mother, I won't call." I just thought. Office was cut in the middle when Miyuki said, No. I didn't mean that, and of course you can call me mother for now on, you only call me mother, okay? Office-chan." The Office just nodded. "And you can call me father, Office-chan," said Tetsuya with a smile. The Office nodded again. I forgot to mention we are going to visit Kyoto next week." "Yes. Kyoto? That's great. We are going to have lots of fun there. Isn't it right, Fisheim?" said Issei cheerfully, but he failed to notice the shocked look on his parents' faces when he used Heim. "Of course my eye," said Office while eating her chocolate cake. The day was the day Issei and his parents were planning to visit Kimto to Issei's grandparents from his father's side. Oh yes, they lived in Kimto. Issei was excited to meet his grandparents who he hadn't met yet. So he was quite nervous too on how his grandparents were going to react to him when they met each other. When Miyuki saw this, she understood what Issei was thinking thanks to her motherly instincts. "Honey, don't get nervous. Your grandparents are good people. They always asked us to visit them as well as to bring you there, so they finally met their only grandson. So don't worry, they will love you. Just the way we love you." Hearing that his grandparents will love him makes Issei more excited to meet them. "But behave, don't talk with anyone rudely," said Miyuki. But Miyuki knows that Issei didn't talk to anyone rudely. Even though he gave the household servants proper respect, it greatly shocked their servants too that a 4 or 5 years old boy gave a proper respect to someone. To a servant no less. That made the household servant quite happy that their young master is gentle, polite, and not arrogant. They already know that he is intelligent. Issei just nodded to her demand. Ice heard about Kimto a lot from his parents. Suddenly Issei realized someone was holding his hands. He looked and saw his Fisheim was now holding her hand with a curious face. To Issei, seeing Office's curious face was adorable. When his parents saw the whole situation, they had to control their urge to yell kawaii and hug them to death. "Why are you so excited to visit Kimto, my Ice?" asked Office with a curious expression. "Well, for starters, we are going to visit my grandparents whom I haven't met yet, and secondly, Kimto is a very nice place. It is a place full of quiet temples, sublime gardens, colorful shrines, and geishas scurrying to secret liaisons. So we can have lots of fun there, Fis-chan," said Ice cheerfully. The Office giggled at her mate's cheerful expressions. Suddenly she realized something about Kimto. "Well, we can see kitsune there," said Office. "Kitsune? You mean nine-tailed foxes? Or something that is real?" "Yes, they lived there." "Amazing, Fis-chan." Bullet train. It was 20 minutes after the bullet train had left Tokyo Station. It was the first time both Issei and Office traveled with the bullet train. It was first time traveling to Kimto, so Issei's parents decided to travel by bullet train so Issei can experience what it is like to travel through bullet train. Issei was sitting on the last row of seats with Office. Across the aisle was his parents' seats. "My Ice, how's your training going?" asked Office in a low voice so that only her mate could hear. Issei is surprised because it is the first time Office was asking about his training. "Well, Fis-chan. Great Red, Albion-chan and Ddraig-chan taught me how to control my power and some magical stuff, and Great Red told me that I'm already a dragon god the moment I became a dragon. Would you ask?" "I will help." "You will? Really? But you said you haven't trained anybody and don't know how." "Well, you are my mate, my Eyes, so I will help you and learn how to train someone." Whenever Office tells him my Ice, there is always a pink blush on his face. "Thank you, Fis-chan." After we get back from the trip, let's start your training, my ice. On the bullet train, it was just as Issei and Office finished enjoying the seaweed rice balls specially prepared by Miyuki. We are arriving at Kyoto presently. The announcement said. They got off a train and now we can see the roof of the Kyoto station was covered by a huge atrium. Inside the station were many automatic escalators. It was truly a massive railway station. It doesn't lose to Tokyo at all. As a major sightseeing destination, it was natural that the ancient capital would have built a station on such a massive scale. It was crowded, totally packed. Suddenly an butler appeared from nowhere. Ah, Tetsuya-sama, Miyuki-sama, it's good to see you again. Hyoudou-sama, Tetsuya's father, send me pick you up, said the butler. Thank you, said Tetsuya. Line break. When they reached his grandparents' house, in front of him a huge 3-story mansion. Issei may have lived in a mansion, but it is the first time seeing other than that. Office doesn't show any reaction. His father had a smile when he came to visit his parents. When they entered the mansion, Issei can see an old-age couple. Father, it's good to see you again, said Tetsuya and gave his father a manly hug. Hello mother, it's nice to see you again, said Miyuki while walking towards the old lady. Ah, Miyuki-chan. Look how beautiful you become, honey, said the lady, and then her eyes laid on the little boy and girl who were holding each other's hand. Miyuki saw this and acted. Honey, go ahead and introduce yourself, Miyuki said gently, pushing Issei and Office towards them. Hello. My name is Issei Hyoudou, nice to meet you. Issei greeted me with a smile. I am Office Hyoudou, said Office with a little smile. Yes, she took the last name a week ago when she started homeschooling with Issei. Actually, she needs a last name. What's a better way to use Issei's? After all, he is her mate. Old lady embraced them in a warm hug. Hello, I'm your grandma. And it's good to finally meet you, my cute little grandson. And I'm your grandpa. Ice-chan greeted old man with a warm hug. And Miyuki-chan, why didn't I know I had a granddaughter in the first place? Asked Ice's grandma with a confused expression. Well, mother, we took her in last week. Since she was an orphan this time, the reply came from Tetsuya. Yeah. She was, but now she has us as parents, said Hitomi with a warm smile. Grandma just gently patted his head, who was wearing a pink gothic dress. Yes, she changed her dress many times and asked Issei how she looked. Issei still remembers the day when she walked into his room wearing nothing but a black bikini. What to say? If he was adult, he was going for a nosebleed until he died from blood loss. He just stared at her like he saw a ghost, and it became worse when Ddraig-chan and Albion-chan started to tease him about Office, much to Issei's embarrassment. Seems like I have a granddaughter too, said the elder Hyoudou. Issei saw a big garden through the window, which was well maintained. Hey grandpa, grandma. Can we play in that garden? Asked Ice while staring at the garden. His grandma giggled and grandpa chuckled at their grandson's hyperactive nature. Of course, honey. Do you even need to ask? Just don't hurt yourself and look after your sister, with a very amused grandma. What? Sister? Issei and Office just yelled in unison. While his parents just signed. What, isn't Office-chan your little sister, Ice-chan? Asked his grandpa. Time to drop a nuclear bomb, thought Issei's father. He can already see that his son is on the way to make a harem for himself in future. He is my mate, Office said immediately, not wanting her foster grandparents to call her sister of her mate. What? Said both grandparents, nearly yelled. What she means is she is Issei's girlfriend, said Tetsuya, trying to act before his son declared marriage. What he didn't know was that his son already got married, draconic law. Both his grandparents looked at each other but couldn't believe that their only 5-year-old grandson Issei already had a girlfriend. Not only that, but he was living with her under the same roof. It's just like a living relationship. They looked towards Issei, who just nodded, and then his grandpa reacts. That's my grandson. You just made your grandpa proud, Ice-chan said his grandpa cheerful tone. Issei doesn't know how to react. He just nodded. You know, father, your grandson going to have an harem, said Tetsuya before smirking. Now both male chuckled pervertedly that earned them a smack on their head from grandma and Miyuki. Line break. Issei and Office are now playing at the garden with his grandpa. When his father saw that and remembered when he used to play in that garden too when he was a child. This brings back memories, doesn't it? Tetsu-chan asked a feminine voice from behind. He looked back and saw his mother was standing there with his wife, both looking at his son then him. Yes mother, this certainly brings back some memories, said Tetsuya happily while remembering the past. Suddenly a maid come and said Luna-sama, dinner is ready to serve. Elder woman just nodded. Ice-chan, Office-chan, come here, demanded grandma. Both children run towards their grandma-in-law for a certain girl. What is it, grandma? Asked Ice while Office just remained silent. Grandpa understood what's going on, walked inside his mansion. Oh, clean your hands kiddo, it's dinner time, said grandma. Issei was about to ask for 5 minutes more, but a single glare from his mother, and he better choose to remain silent. His mother can read him like an open book. Line break. After dinner. Grandma, aren't you going to tell us a story? Asked Ice with making a cute face. Of course, my grandson, how could I deny anything to that cute face of yours, said Grandma, but before that we have to discuss about the places we are going to visit tomorrow, sweetie. Don't worry about that, we'll take care of that, said Grandpa. Grandma just nodded and led both children to their shared room. Well, Office gave an excuse that she had nightmares, so she wanted to share her room with Issei. Issei gave excuses that this was the first time living in someone else's house. Well, in fact, he is just addicted to cuddle Office while sleeping. His grandparents agreed immediately, not wanting their grandchildren to feel any discomfort. Next morning. Sunlight hit Issei and Office shared bedroom. He yawned and opened his eyes from his sleep, or you can say training, and found Office resting her head on his chest while cuddling him and his hands around her as usual position for both of them. Her long hair opened, spreading over his chest. He looked at the clock and saw it's already 7 and suddenly remembered that today they are going to visit many places. He got up silently, not wanting to wake Office. He does care about her. Unknown to him, he started to care about her deeply. Issei and Office are now sitting at the breakfast table with their parents or parents-in-law for a certain girl. Natao-sen, where we are going today? Asked very excited Issei. Miyuki and his grandma giggled at her son and grandson's behavior. Ice-chan, that's a surprise for both of you, said Miyuki. Issei just pouted. His face was totally adorable. Later in the evening, Issei's face was totally blissful to visit many places with his parents and grandparents while holding his hand. Now here they are sharing ice cream since Issei dropped her on the floor and Office offered to share her ice cream. They were returning to house now, grandparents. His parents and grandparents were discussing tomorrow that they are gonna be busy for 2-3 days. So in the end they decided to let servants show them different places for 2 or 3 days. They just arrived home and told the children about tomorrow. First, Issei doesn't seem too happy to go without them, but understands they are busy, so he just nodded and he and Office just walked towards their shared room. Next morning, this time Office awoke first and found herself on Issei. She looked at his sleeping face and couldn't help herself. She leaned and gave a peek on his cheek. Finding something on his face, Issei started to awaken and found what Office did. As he returned the favor with a deep kiss on her lips. Office's face became redder than tomato. Line break. Issei and Office were now in a park while a butler was sitting on a couch. Issei and Office felt something and sneaked themselves from servants. A young girl at the age of 4 or 5 with the appearance of an elementary school student. She has golden blonde hair tied in a ponytail and matching eyes. Her main attire is the traditional Maiko outfit and tall jetta with white tabi. The sleeves of her haori feature a giant red star-shaped pentagram surrounded by 5 smaller pentagrams in between the points. She was currently surrounded by people. People? No, they aren't just people, there is something dark. They are devils. Gee, go away, leave me alone. The young girl shouted in a tone filled with fear. So this is the daughter of Kyoto's ruler Yusaka. There's 8 devils walking towards her slowly. They're having evil smiles. The young girl shouted once again, and this time, she pushed both of her hands forward and released some fire of hers to try to attack them. Now that's being rude to attack someone who just come to say hi, said one of them. One of the devils grabbed the little girl in her neck, suffocating her. He was about to attack the little girl. The girl shut her eyes tightly. There's tears coming from her eyes. Can't breathe, Ka-chan. Someone please help me. Suddenly a crimson energy beam hit that devil and completely turned him to ash. The girl couldn't register just what happened. 1 minute the said devil was there and in the blink of an eye, a crimson energy beam hit him, turning him completely to ash. The rest of the devil have a horrified face at what just happened to their comrade and turned to where the crimson energy comes from. The figure walked in and said, you know it's not a proper way to treat a cute girl, you disgusting creatures, and now the figure appears completely as just a 5-year-old boy. When Kunu heard that, she blushed. Now devils are pissed. Beyond pissed. How can a child call them out and kill their leader? One of them charged at him with killing intent. Suddenly a black beam of energy hit him, turning him completely ash. And now another figure appears, a little girl wearing a gothic dress with long black hair. Now every devil present saw her and realized who they were messing with. Instantly 4 of them fainted, the remaining 2 of them shaking with fear. Kunu ran towards her savior. She didn't know who they were, but they saved her, and that's enough reason for her to trust them. The girl looked towards her savior and found a boy with silver hair. Green eyes were looking at her. Next to him was a cute young girl with long black hair down to her hips. Her attire consists of a black gothic Lolita fashion. Thanks for saving me, I'm Kunu. You are? Said Kunu politely to her savior. Kunua, cute name. I wonder if you are more cuter your name. By the way, Issei, Hyoudou said Issei honestly, but only if he knew he was just flirting with a girl in front of his wife. While Office is still looking at her mate with confused expressions. Why did my mate say something like that? Is he really trying to make a harem for himself? And it couldn't help when she remembered when her foster father teased Issei about something related to harem. All she can guess now is that her mate is going to have a harem though. Office. I am Office, said Office immediately when she realized she was spacing out. Before they continued their talk, a young woman with a voluptuous figure and golden blonde hair with matching eyes appeared. The young woman is dressed in a shrine maiden attire. Humming behind her were several Tengus wearing some ancient Chinese armors. Seeing the woman, the little girl yelled Kachan and ran to her and hugged her tightly. And the guards ran to devils and seized them. Anu told the whole situation and the woman looked towards the boy, and when she laid her eyes on the little girl her eyes widened. Of course she knows who she is. After all, the figure in front of her is Infinity Dragon God, Office. Hello, my name is Yusaka. Thanks for saving my daughter here, judging who is the person you are with. I think you know us. Asked the woman who revealed her name as Yusaka. Issei just stared at her and said, I'm Issei Hyoudou and the cute girl here is Office Hyoudou. Before you ask. No, we aren't brother and sister and I know about the supernatural, but you are. I'm a kitsune and yakai. Issei's eyes were widened. So that's why he was feeling something different about them. A kitsune has 9 tails. Yes. Can I see your tails? Can I? Please. Asked Issei cheerfully with a puppy face. Yusaka just smiled at the boy's reaction and Office facepalmed. Now Kunu was trying to act and so she did something that greatly surprised her mother. She come forward and said, I'll show you Issei-san. She let her tails and ears out. Wow, you are beautiful, Kunu-chan, said Issei while touching her tails. Now Kunu blushed deeper than red. Yusaka saw that and understood what her daughter was feeling now. She just smiled. Suddenly 3 people can be heard, so Kunu turns completely human and soon 3 people revealed themselves as 2 butlers and 1 maid in their uniform. Issei-sama, Office-sama, where have you been? We are looking for you everywhere. We are just about to call household and they aren't going to like this, said one of butler. We are playing with our little friend over there, said Issei, trying to give an excuse while looking towards Kunu. And then they looked in that direction and saw a woman and a little girl and 2 guards behind them and now completely shocked and they realized they are from the royal family of Hyoudou. They bowed to them and said, Yusaka-sama. We are sorry if our young master caused you any trouble. That caught Yusaka's attention completely and she looked at them. There is H mark on the butler and maid outfit and Issei mentions he is in Hyoudou. Then she turns to Issei and asks, are you somehow related to Max Hyoudou? Ah, yes, he is my grandfather. Yusaka-san. It would be a lie if she said it didn't surprise her. After all, he was the only grandson of the richest man in Hyoudou. Is this all? No, it isn't. The real shock is. He is the grandson of the strongest man and woman in Hyoudou. No. He didn't cause any troubles to us, but he did save my daughter's life, said Yusaka happily. Yusaka gave 2 butlers and 1 maid a surprise. It really surprised them that their young master, who was just 5 years old, saved the only princess of Hyoudou. We are glad to know that our young master didn't cause any trouble for you, and young master, it is getting dark. We should return to our house. Said the maid this time. Ah, sure. But wait a second. Hey, Kunu-chan. Can we meet tomorrow? At the park? We can play together. Kunu just looked at him and still had a little pink blush on her face and nodded of course. Issei-kun. Her mother looked at her with a surprised face. She thinks she got enough surprises for today, but no. Her daughter just uses kun. Now she realized she was spacing out and Issei was waving his hand and saying goodbye to them. She just waved back. Entire whole conversation Office just stood there staring at her mate Issei while holding his hand with hers. Line break. Now they returned to their house. When servants mentioned the saving the princess's part, his parents and grandparents looked at him with a shocked expression. He just told them he just saved her from thugs. Their reaction was different. His mother just scolded him to putting his life at risk and traveling with servants, while his father said, good job son, add another girl in your harem and a princess no less. Well, that earned him another smack in his head from Miyuki. But his grandparents' reaction was different. They just smiled, but inside they couldn't think, how's this possible? After all, Yusaka is the current leader of the royal family publicly, but they know she is a kitsune and saving her daughter means a little kid. They couldn't find any different aura around Issei. He was completely normal. If Issei knows what his grandparents were thinking, he'll thank the Great Red next time when they meet for placing a seal on Issei and Office. Only people who saw Office before in that form can realize who she really is. Now his grandma heard Issei calling. Grandma, something is wrong. You are spacing out. Is she thinking the same as I was thinking? Thought Grandpa Max. No. No. I'm fine honey, I was just thinking which type of story I'm gonna tell you tonight. As she said Issei cheerfully while saying you are the best grandma. His grandma just smiled. And her eyes laid on her husband who was completely silent after the servants told them about the little incidents. Is he thinking the same? Thought grandma. To her surprise, Max just gestured her to come, and she did. What is it Max? Asked grandma. Are you thinking about what I'm thinking about? Hitomi-chan. You mean? Yes. So what now if Issei has sacred gear? We'll help him with anything. We can't let just anyone come into our life in future and take Issei away from us. He only lived with us for 2 days. I don't know, but I feel deep affection towards him and try to protect him from any harm. Hitomi-chan, and he is our grandson. You are right, we'll be damned if we let something happen to him, but are you sure that he has sacred gear? Well, we can't sense it for now, because he is just a child, but saving a kitsune not from the thugs, that I'm 100% sure how a human can achieve that answer. He must have in scared gear. I hope everything will come out only to us soon, otherwise it is going to become troublesome. But if anyone try to harm my grandson, they will be know why I'm called the Angel Beast. Don't forget they don't even want to face the wrath of Angel Ice Princess. Unknown to them, Issei and Office were there the whole time. Issei saw his grandma was leaving, so he decided to help her with anything that she was going to do. Then she was going to tell him a great story before going to sleep. But he didn't know he was going to know something. Even Office has a little bit of shocked expressions. Issei and Office both were sitting on their shared bed in their shared room. All they thought about was what they just heard from their grandparents. Issei still remembered the day when met his grandparents. He could sense something holy from them. He guessed that maybe there are some shrines near the mansion, but now when his grandparents used angel word and talked about sacred gear, all things become clear. They are angels, said Office when she saw her mate was thinking about that. But angels can't have sex. If they did, they will fall. Yes they will, but what if they weren't born as angels? What do you mean, weren't born as angels? You already know about reincarnated system. You mean like devil's evil pieces? Yes, like that, but something different. Heaven uses brave saints. They are based on devil's evil pieces. The brave saints are currently only limited to the seraphs. I didn't know that. Means my grandparents are working under one of the seraphs. Most likely. Let's just think about it. 2 angels who were working under one of the seraphs in Hyoudou, and you already mentioned they never visited you, so that means they didn't leave Hyoudou. They must be angels ambassadors here and a high-class sacred gear holder. Angel just doesn't reincarnate anyone. It was a shock for Issei. Office saw this and pulled him in a hug and said, don't worry, I'm with you. But what will happen when they find out I'm a dragon god no less? Well, that time you can just simply say that Ddraig and Albion turn you into one. I guess so, I mean it's the truth. And what will happen when they offer to become one of them? I mean an angel. Akamate, just tell them you will fall, said Office while giving a peek on his cheek. She is right, Issei. Just tell them that we turned you into a dragon, but introduce yourself as a dragon god. Ddraig-chan and Albion-chan. Is that you guys? Of course, who else can you think that can talk to you in your mind? Uncle Red. He got you on that. Albion. Ddraig chuckled. Anyways, just introduce yourself as the Red and White Dragon Emperor. Alright, thank you too, said Issei, and Ddraig cut the mental link and looked at Office. Lemon. Fist-chan, said a nervous Issei. Yes, my ice. Do you still remember the time when we first bathed together? Office blushed on his statement and nodded. Do you want to continue? After all, I don't remember what happened after you. Issei blushed. Do you want to continue? Well yes, but only if you want to. Issei looked at her face with a massive blush, and Office stood up and started removing her clothes only to reveal a black panties and black bra. Issei gulped as he saw the half-naked Office, and Office said, can you undress too? It's embarrassing to be the only one half-naked. Issei started to undress and started groping Office's breast and started to kiss her. My ice, please be gentle, as he put a barrier around their room. Issei slowly ran his fingers from her chest to her pussy and started to rub it. Issei's right hand continued to tease her nipples. More my ice NGHH, said Office, barely able to contain herself. I think that's enough to foreplay Fist-chan, as he finally removed his pants and boxers to reveal his hardened member. Issei placed Office on their bed and started to lick her wet snatch. Are you ready for Fist-chan? Issei said as he positioned himself to take off his virginity. Yes, please take me, ice koi, Office said. As soon as she gave the signal, he slowly pushed his member in. Office yelped as she felt her hymen being ripped apart. Are you okay, Fist-chan? Wait, I'm going to Remo before he continue. Office gave Issei a deep kiss, which Issei reciprocate the same amount of passion. Stay still for a bit, it still hurts, said Office. After 5 minutes. You can move now, my ice, Office said lustfully. Issei moved slowly at first, and Office feeling the pleasure, and asked move faster Ice Koi. And Issei moved faster, and made Office moan louder, thanks to the barrier he put earlier the outside won't know what happened, if not the whole building is heard what's currently going on. I think I'm close to Fist-chan. As Issei played with Office's breast, and licked her neck. I'm close to my Ice Koi, let's come together. I'm coming to Fist-chan. Me too, Ice Koi Office, and Issei came together. The combined climax proved to be everything Office hoped it would be, and more even if it was brief. Issei fell on top of Office, and fell asleep. As Office gave him a peck on the cheeks, and fell asleep herself. Lemon end. Next morning, the little boy rubbed his eyes gently, and got up from the bed tiredly from his certain position. As he wore the clothes he have yesterday, and Office did the same. Suddenly someone knocked, and entered the room. Issei saw his grandma enter the room. Before he could ask anything she said Ice-chan me and your grandpa have an important meeting today, so before she can say anything Issei cut the talking by giving a tight hug and saying good morning Ba-chan. And don't worry today me and Office are going to visit our new friend and play with her. Wow Ice-chan, you made a new friend here. I'm happy for you okay, but bring 2 to 3 servants with you wherever you go. Asked grandma almost in a demanding tone. Line break. Issei and Office are now playing with Kunu at the park. As they promised. Issei wants to know many things about Kitsune, and Kunu tells him almost everything she knows. This is the first time she made friends, and now she is playing with them. Thus being a royal princess there are certain restrictions placed on her for safety reasons. Issei is her first friend. She also got along with Office, and started to call her Fist-chan. Well this was a new experience for Office being called that nickname besides her mate. She just smiled. Now it's time to go back home. It's already getting dark. Kunu-chan can we meet again tomorrow? Of course Ice-kun we can't to be honest I enjoyed playing with you and Fist-chan I never had any friend you guys are my first friend you know. What? You never had. Remember you are my first friend too and something more said Office while mumbling the last part to herself. Oh yes. Anyway, do you like something? I'll bring it with me tomorrow. Asked Issei to her new friend. Sweets, said Kunu cheerfully while jumping. Seems like she shares the same taste as Fist-heim, said Issei. It's been a week, Issei and Office met Kunu and started spending time with her. Max requested Tetsuya to stay here with them. Tetsuya realized he was missing them too. So he agreed immediately and rearranged homeschooling for Issei and Office here and when he told Miyuki about the current situation she happily nodded. Why wouldn't she? Tetsuya's parents treat her like her own daughter. When they told it to Issei and Office. Issei was jumping joyfully. Man, he really likes Kyoto. While Office smiled widely for the first time. Now today Kunu is coming to their house to play. Of course, many times last week they visited each other's houses. But today Issei's parents were out of the town for business purposes leaving Issei and Office with their grandparents and grandparents-in-law of a certain cute girl who was wearing white gothic dress today. Issei planned to spend time with Office and Kunu at the garden. He saw Kunu was coming, but not alone this time her mother and 4 guards with him. Issei greeted them. Much to Issei's surprise, when Yusaka asked him to call her Haha. Issei didn't understand what's going on. On the other hand, Kunu was blushing heavily. Yusaka thought that's enough teasing for today and told them that she has a meeting with Issei's grandparents about politics. Issei and Office understood immediately that it was a meeting about angels and the Yakai faction. Now Issei, Kunu and Office are playing with each other in the garden. Issei wanted to tell Kunu about the new development. Kunu-chan, there's something I want to tell you said Issei while making a serious face. Kunu is not a fool, she knows that one day Issei has to leave. He just came here for vacation and to meet his grandparents and when they leave. She will become alone again. We are going to stay for a while said Issei and Office in unison. Kunu first has to register what they told her. When she realized she tackled both of them to a bone-crushing hug. I thought you were both leaving this town. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy Ice-kun, Fist-chan. Say Kunu-chan, how about homeschooling with us? Asked Office, surprising Issei. It is true that Office started to consider Kunu as her friend. I have to ask Ka-chan. But I don't think she is going to refuse that, Fist-chan said Kunu with a smile. Before anyone said anything a fireball launched towards them. Almost hitting them. I thought assassinating princesses of Kyoto would be a hard job, said a male voice. But when smoke cleared he was stunned to see that his attack did nothing. A crimson barrier protected them. What? How's that possible? That attack was a high-class attack. How could a child like you create a barrier in the first place? The attacker shouted. Issei can't see 2 figures standing where the fireball comes from, spreading their devil wings. When he heard one of them shouting at him, he just did what that silenced him permanently. He released a barrier and sent a crimson energy beam towards him, turning him to ash. The other devil has a horrified face that a child just destroyed his comrade. What's worse is he doesn't even seem to be trying, and he killed his comrade like it was nothing. Now he was shaking in gear for his life. He knew now that that child could kill him like it was nothing. "Please don't kill me, I'll do whatever you say, just please don't kill me," said the devil with a shaking voice. Before Issei could say anything, 5 figures arrived there. 2 were his grandparents. One of them was Yusaka, and the remaining 2 were his grandparents' personal guards. "What's going on here?" asked Max in a demanding tone, "and who are you? Why are you here?" "No, my question should be what are you doing here, devil?" asked Max, still in a demanding tone, and then he looked towards the children. Hitomi already tackled Issei in a bone-crushing hug, while Yusaka was doing the same with Kunu. When Hitomi felt Office was left out, she just hugged her too, making it a 3-way hug. "We are just sent here to assassinate the child over there. But please don't kill me. I beg of you." Just hearing that all adults have dark faces. The temperature of the garden has decreased almost 20 degrees in just 2 seconds. No one registers what just happened when the said devil, its legs were frozen in ice. Everyone looked towards where that came from except Max. They saw a doll made of ice near Hitomi while she was manipulating ice and revealing 4 pairs of her angelic wings. Well, Yusaka is summoning her fire to burn that devil alive who dares to try to harm her daughter. "Now ladies, calm down, and you," pointing at the devil, still have that dark face that he made when he heard that devil try to kill his grandson and granddaughter. "You said yes. But you are alone, explain now, before I end you," said Max in a threatening voice. The said devil is now sweating. The temperature may get lower, but what he can see is fear of losing his life. "I had one comrade with me, but that kid killed him," said the devil in a trembling voice while pointing towards Issei. Now that's caught everyone's attention. All are looking towards him like asking to explain. He just nodded. "Ddraig, Albion. Time for a big revelation. Are you ready?" asked Issei. "Of course. Let's do this together. Let's do this, partner." Issei just looked towards his grandparents and summoned the boosted gear and divine dividing. Everyone except his eyes widened in realization of what they saw. "Is it?" Hitomi was trying to ask but cut off by Max. "Yes, it is what you are thinking of, Hitomi-chan. Our grandson is currently the Red and White Dragon Emperor," said Max while checking his grandson boosted gear and divine dividing. "Looks like someone is going to continue our family legacy of sacred gear," mumbled Max and Hitomi at the same time. Issei just explained that he activated it while saving Kunu. Also getting some weird dream about dragons that he doesn't remember. Everyone believed it. Let's just say who is going to doubt a 5-year-old boy. "How about I train you, Yus-chan?" asked Max. "You have something like that too, Grandpa?" asked Issei curiously. Max just chuckled. "I have Annihilation Maker that is said to be par with boosted gear and divine diving of yours, Ice-chan. Not just me, your grandma have too," said Max. "Yes, Ice-chan, it is true, I have absolute demise," said Hitomi while pointing towards the doll of ice. "I'll help you with your training too, Ice-chan," said Yusaka, shocking Max and Hitomi. "Looks like your dragon part is already doing his work," Ice-chan said to a very amused Max, and that earned him a smack on his head from Hitomi. After that incident, Yusaka and Kunu left Issei house, promising that they will visit tomorrow too. Now Issei and Office are sitting on the couch in front of their grandparents or grandparents-in-law for certain black hair cuties. Max told him everything about who he is. How he became an angel serving under Gabriel the Seraph with Hitomi-chan. "You know, Office, we heard about an Office who is a dragon god, you know, who is on par with God, and you are the first person who has same name," said Max. Issei chuckled for the first time nervously. Time to drop a nuclear bomb, thought Issei. I wonder where he got that trait from. She is the very same grandpa who said Issei nervously didn't know how their grandparents were going to react. "What? Office as Infinity Dragon God? How?" yelled both Max and Luna in unison. Thanks for watching this video. Part 1 is over. If you really enjoy this video, like, subscribe, and comment down below and turn on that bell notification. And also check out the playlist that I have created and enjoy. Link is in the description. See you in the next video. Goodbye.